And if you look at my record, I served as one of the youngest speakers of the House in Ohio. I have overseen the many of the important things that have occurred in state government over the past few years, and proven that I can handle them with honor and integrity. Additionally, I have worked on all of the things that the Secretary of State's office does as a legislator. I've worked on campaign finance issues. I've worked on election reform issues. I've worked on redistricting reform issues. I'm intimately familiar with the pros and the cons of all of these policy decisions, and I'm willing to be a leader and be accountable and be responsive to what are the issues of the day, and to make sure that the people of this state, the voters of this state, whether they be Republican, Democrat, or Independent, will know that I'm a fair-minded person. I have a record and a resume to prove that that's who I am, and my opponent has none of those things.
What do you make of all the Tea Party talk? What kind of role or what kind of impact do you think Tea Party is going to have in this primary election?
Well, since I've been to many Tea Party events and visited with thousands of Tea Party activists during the course of the campaign, I think they're going to have an important role in the election. I always give the Tea Party credit for the important role that they played in the healthcare debate. I think that things like the public option that were ultimately not included in the final bill largely was that the Tea Party created the environment and brought attention to those kinds of issues, so that the political people in Washington decided that that's not the direction that they wanted to go. And I think that the Tea Party is not necessarily a movement of people; it's a movement of ideas. And the Tea Party movement is talking about the things that I care a lot about. They're talking about the fact that government spending is out of control, that we have a $12.7, $12.8, $12.9 trillion national debt by the time this election's held at the rate that it's growing. They're talking about government doing so many things and taking more of our personal freedoms away, and putting more and more of the power in America in the hands of government, and not trusting in the people. They're talking about the need to use the Constitution of the United States as more than just an advisory document, that it's a founding document that we as the force of law in our nation, and that we are not a nation that's governed by men, but a nation that's governed by laws and its principles, as founded by as governed by our founding documents. And I think those are the kinds of things that the Tea Party has really drawn America's attention to. I think that they speak to a lot of people in the Republican primary and in the general election, for that matter. And that's why I'm proud to have so many local Tea Party activists involved in my campaign and working to help us not only win the primary but the general election.
Your opponent says she's the Tea Party endorsed candidate. How do you respond to that?
I guess she said a lot of things that in the campaign that I guess I would disagree with, and that would be among them. But having said that, we don't need to quarrel about that, because frankly, I think my opponent and I share a desire to see government be more responsive, to see government be more fiscally conservative. And so, I think that we both have supporters in the Tea Party. I think that's great. And that's a wonderful thing, and I look forward to working with all of those folks in the Tea Party, including my opponent, after I'm successful in the primary election, toward winning the general election. Because, the distinctions between where people in the Tea Party movement are a matter of degree. They're very small differences in terms of what we want to do. The question in the race, though, is which one of us is able to successfully advance those ideas toward the general election. And I think on all accounts, the answer to that question is me. And it's not just Jon Husted and local Tea Party activists that are saying that I'm the right guy. It's the National Rifle Association that's endorsed me. It's the Ohio Right to Life that's endorsed me. It's Moms for Ohio that has endorsed me. Veterans United of Ohio, they have endorsed me. Buckeye Firearms Association has endorsed me. All of the various statewide organizations whose members are also part of the Tea Party, they are endorsing me, and they are supporting me because they know I give the Republicans the best chance to win in November. And frankly, there's no better. I could give no better endorsement to my campaign for Republicans than the fact that the Ohio Democratic Party yesterday issued a release supporting my primary opponent's campaign, and so I think that says about all you need to know as a Republican voter about who the Democrats want to win the primary, which means that if you're a Republican voter, that you should know that I'm the right guy for the job, and that I will give us the best chance to win in November.
You've launched your first TV ad for this campaign. Is that a sign that you're concerned about how close this is?
Well, first of all, if you're running for an election and you have an opponent, you better be concerned. I don't take anything for granted. It's interesting. We have actively been working in this primary since I announced here in last April. We have a website, HustedForOhio.com. We have a Facebook page. We have 35,000 emails of supporters and activists that we send information out to. We've been doing mail. We've been doing phone calls. We've been doing media interviews with folks like yourself on radio, newspaper, and TV. But no one really paid attention to anything that was going on until we launched our TV ad this week. And frankly, this has kind of been what our plan has been all along. We don't take anything for granted. We have been fortunate and blessed, frankly, by people all around the state who have financially supported our campaign that put us in a position to be able to start communicating on this broad basis very early in the campaign, and we think it's not only going to be beneficial in the primary election, but we're having it, and let's face it, outside of the top of the ticket, governor, and maybe a couple other races, nobody really knows the down ticket races. Nobody knows the treasurer candidate and the Secretary of State's candidate and the auditor's candidate. And we frankly view this as a great opportunity for us to get out there and communicate to all of Ohio and introduce us to all of Ohio without the clutter of the general election. And we think that that's going to put us in a great position going forward to be successful not only in the May primary but for November. Because winning the May primary is not enough. You have to win November too for it to really matter.
Anything else you want to add?
No, other than I appreciate the time, and I look forward to voting this May 4th. I encourage everybody to get out and vote, and I ask for your vote for Jon Husted for my campaign for Secretary of State.